Good morning. How's everybody today? It's a beautiful morning here in Ellicott City. Sun shining. It's cool, crisp temperatures, light breeze. Really a good day for walking, right? So, I am Sharon Schultz, also known as the Bay Lady, because I live in the Chesapeake Bay region of Maryland. And it's a beautiful area. I love the water. I'm a beach girl, so it was a natural fit when I became a Hago guide a few years back to do tours around the bay. I get to show off some of the most beautiful places I know. So kind of a cool thing. Um, anyway, today we are in Ellicott City. Um, and I'll begin that tour in just a minute. Um, But first, I want to let you know that you can find my tours on Facebook, The Bay Lady, Sharon Schultz. Also, I have a YouTube channel, um, Sharon Schultz, The Bay Lady. So those are easy to find. And if you hit the notice, they'll let you know when I have something scheduled. You'll get a email or text or whatever you sign up for. That way you won't miss any of my tours, but you will find them on Facebook and on um, YouTube. And they're also listed with Together Virtually, which is oh man, just a whole lot of ex-Hago guides who formed a collective and established a database, a calendar, so that all of our all of our fans can find us basically and see what we're doing. So the other thing is that all of my tours are free. Okay, they're free tours, but um, of course, gratuities are welcome, are accepted. I don't get paid. I do this because I love it truly. But if I can get reimbursed for gas and travel expenses and admission fees, that's just a plus. Not trying to get rich, just trying to cover life on the fixed income of a retired senior, right? So if you wanted to do something like that, please visit Buy Me a Coffee. You'll find the link on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel as well. But at Buy Me a Coffee, you can make a donation, a tip, show your support. Very easy and very, very much appreciated. Okay, so here we are. Um, in Ellicott City, as I started to say, Ellicott City, and you know what? Let me take the camera off me and show you uh, what I'm looking at. That's what you want to see. Show you what's around me. Okay, so let's see. Settings. Camera. All right, let's turn it around. Did that work? Oh, yeah, nicely. Okay, you're looking at granite. Lots of granite. Now, what does that have to do with Ellicott City? Well, granite here is the basis of everything. Everything that happens in Ellicott City is about the granite. Sounds crazy, I know. But even if you notice dead ahead, that's the courthouse, all made of granite. We've got this way here, this little, I don't know, courtyard kind of thing. Not quite sure, but it is made of granite as well. Just a little geographical note here. Ellicott City is surrounded by 7 hills, and these are hills of granite. And so from the very beginning, um, the granite was used to build the town of Ellicott City. It originated in the late 1700s. Several brothers from Pennsylvania, around Philly area, Bucks County. They came to Ellicott City. They were called the Ellicotts, and they wanted to find a place where they could establish a mill. And so Ellicott City was their perfect pick because of the river that runs below us. It's the Patapsco River, and it's a mighty powerful river, enough power to successfully generate textile mills, flour mills, whatever the case may be. And around the mill and its workers, the town of Ellicott City grew. Now, Ellicott City has a remarkable history in its, 250 plus years, starting, in the late 1700s. Ellicott City was around for the War of 1812, the Civil War, both world wars, and it's still there. And it has quite an extensive historical background, and also quite a history of tragedy. The water that was so badly needed, the river, for the growth of this town, also tried on many occasions to take the town out. The flooding here has been horrific over the years since the beginning. The fact that the little town sits by the river surrounded by 7 hills, flooding is sometimes almost inevitable. Many people have died on Main Street in Ellicott City in the water being swept away. So the other thing that I mentioned about the granite, okay, Ellicott City is the most haunted place in Maryland, I believe. One of the most haunted sites in the country, in the US. It has to do with the water and the granite. Go figure, right? There have been paranormal experts out here who have explained the paranormal activity being generated through the energy that is put out from the river and from the granite. The granite walls are said to almost be like a video camera absorbing images and things of that nature to replay them later. Example, there is a hotel down at the bottom of Main Street that's part of my Main Street ghost tour, but the hotel was right next to the railroad tracks, and had granite steps going up and down and granite walls, and the hotel was built into the granite. That was its back wall. And anyway, and it's right by the river and the railroad tracks. The railroad is very instrumental also in the development of Ellicott City. Anyway, so during the Civil War, a Confederate soldier had escaped from Union troops who had captured him not too far from here by the Thomas Viaduct. And this young Confederate, figured if he hopped on the train headed south, it would take him closer to home, and he was trying to escape. And anyway, he got on the train going north and ended up in Ellicott City. And as soon as he got off that train, that poor boy realized his mistake, because he deposited himself right in the smack dab center of the Patapsco Guard, Ellicott City's Union troops, right? Their headquarters right there. Anyway, as the story goes, a couple of the Union soldiers saw the Confederate soldier getting ready to get back up on the train tracks, and they shouted for him to halt, and instead he took off down the stone steps, where he was promptly shot and killed, just like that. So what this has to do with what I was saying about the granite and all is that the way the story goes, on a moonless night, you'll see the soldier tumble down the steps and end up lying face up with his eyes wide open. Um, it's an image that supposedly repeats itself. Okay, like it's on a loop. So that's what the experts say. That's how they explain all these crazy things in Ellicott City. Okay, so I am going to start here with the courthouse. Actually, since I'm up this way, it was built in the 1840s and was the site of many um, I don't know, many activities, many court hearings and such. Ellicott City was very instrumental during the Civil War in helping freed slaves, helping them, or not freed slaves, helping slaves escape up north. They filtered them up through Delaware and Pennsylvania from here in Maryland. And so it was quite instrumental in forming like police departments and things of that nature back during the Civil War at the courthouse. This is where all the slave catchers hung out. And if they intercepted any runaway slaves, they would go before a judge, and the judge would send them to lockup where they would remain until they were claimed by their owner. So, a lot of spirits came and went here. People died. There was a yard out back where they did all the hangings, things of that nature. So we're going to come around and get back to that shortly. We'll approach the courthouse from the front. What you're looking at is the back of the courthouse and the back of the county jail. Now, the county jail has quite a history. Unfortunately, it was, like I said, it housed the slaves, the runaway slaves. In fact, if you look down on the bottom, this first level with the porch above it, okay, that bottom level was where they put the women and the children. And then right above them on the top level was where they held the male slaves until either they died, escaped, or were retrieved by their owners. Very sad situation. Now, we are on Courthouse Hill, and this is the tallest hill of the seven that surround Ellicott City. Um, Up, let's see, the wooded hill that I'm showing you right there. You can't see it, but that is the grounds of the Patapsco Female Institute, a very prestigious school back before the Civil War. And so just kind of make a note of that. We'll get a bit closer so you can catch a glimpse of the ruins and I can tell you the story. Okay, our second stop actually is this little mansion called Mount Ida. Okay. This mansion was built for the Ellicott brothers. It was one of the last homes that the Ellicott family built for themselves. And so once the Ellicotts passed away, the house was handed down, to different people. Different families lived here. One of the last family to live here in the line of progression from Ellicott's on down. It was a gentleman who had a wife and 3 daughters and a son. And they all lived a long life here. And they all died here. Now, the youngest daughter, her name was Ida. And Ida was the last survivor. She was the last one left to live. Now, Ida, in her earlier years, had been really good with the children in the village. She would bring them up onto the catwalk on top of her home where they could have a view of the river below in the valley. Quite breathtaking, I understand. And so, yeah. So Ida, as she got older, started having issues. Um, she became paranoid, um, didn't trust the children anymore, didn't invite them over. She was here by herself. And so, to make herself feel secure, her being paranoid led her to a strange fascination with locked doors and keys. There's many rooms in the house. As you can see, it's a good size mansion. And so, um, make sure we got that good there. Yeah. Um, and so what she would do as she traveled through the house from room to room, that she would lock the doors behind her. Okay, so like she'd unlock a door, go through, lock the door behind her, go to the next door, and always locking it behind her. And she had a ring of keys with which she was able to do this because all the locks had different keys. So anyway, when she passed, um, it said that at night you can hear her keychain jingle, and sometimes a door may open or close on its own. You can almost imagine the creaky sounds, right? So yeah, so it said that Miss Ida, is still here, just checking up on everything, making sure everything is secure. Recently, I learned that Mount Ida had been purchased by private individuals who are turning it into a bed and breakfast. Now, I haven't seen it happen yet. I mean, I still don't think it's occupied. Um, they got some really nice cookery things over there, though. River House. I think that must be a catering company that may have something to do with what Mount Ida may be eventually. We shall see. Okay. And again, here's the top of the hill, and we'll go check out the school. Huh? Keys. Yes.
I did not lock it just in case.
Okay.
Just locked it.
Huh? All right. Well, hang on a second, guys. Amy, say hey. That doesn't
Hi.
work.
Sorry.
That doesn't work. It's from my other car. No electric thing. Okay, look, I'm going up this way, and then at the stop sign, I'm going to hang a right and start walking down. Okay, that's my daughter. She decided to accompany me today. I felt like wanting the company, right, but she's headed back to the car for something or other. Anyway, I I persuaded her to accompany me by telling her um, I would take her to lunch and she could take her pick of what haunted building she wanted to have lunch in. And I would tell her the story of that particular haunt as we ate. So, don't know where we're going yet. Got a few choices though. All those restaurants have stories. No denying that. Okay, so this is Sarah's Lane that we're walking on. Here, here at the stop sign is Church Road, which we will follow shortly. But first, here's the ruins at the top of the hill. Oh my goodness. This place, this school has some really um, um, challenging stories. Seriously. Just a little bit about the school. this was an innovative school, different in its day because um, part of the curriculum for the young women who went to school here, part of the curriculum included things that they really hadn't taught women up to that point. You know, I mean, they teach them to sew and cook and all of that, but they also here they taught language, and they taught science type things, and they were just like a step above. So the girls that boarded here and went to school here were between the ages of 13 and say 18, just the high school years basically. And they lived here and they learned here. Now, sometimes it wasn't all that great here. Um, as you can see, the um, the ruins of the school are still standing because the ruins are made of solid granite, right? Like everything else. So if you can imagine, say, in the wintertime, right? Here you have these concrete walls, um, and classes in the basement, and living bedrooms upstairs in drafty hallways, uh, cold stone, fireplaces in the bedrooms in the rooms where they learned, but nothing that heated the whole thing. And so it would not be unusual for a young girl to get sick, catch a cold, uh, go into pneumonia, whatever the case may be. There were some ladies that, succumbed to illnesses here. Now, one such girl, her name was Sarah, and Sarah wanted to go home. Sarah absolutely hated life at school. She wanted home, back on her plantation, where her family would pamper her, etc. And the reasons exactly why her father sent her here, because he wanted her to be something more than just a woman expecting pampering. He wanted her to have education and learn. And she wasn't having it. And so she would write home and say, please come get me, please come get me. And finally, one day her mother, they answered her letter. Her mother had convinced her father to come and get her. And so they made arrangements to do that after that last letter. Now they hadn't communicated that to the school or to Sarah. So Sarah got really ill, and eventually she passed away. And so the school, not knowing that her father was on the way, had written to the parents to tell them of their daughter's passing, and so they could make proper arrangements and such. So, so the letter from the school arrived the day after Sarah's father had left to come get her. When her father arrived, the school thought that he had come because he had received the letter. And so they assumed that he knew she had died. And when he arrived, he wanted to see her, and they sent him to the room where he found his daughter laid out, prepared for burial. And poor guy just lost it. Anyway, so as far as ghosts go, hey, Sarah. I've been staring up there to see if I see her. I think I did once out of the corner of my eye. Something whipped by me, but hey, who knows? That was decades ago. But anyway, Sarah is supposedly seen up by the top windows just kind of looking out, almost as if she's looking, for her family, because from the top she would be, looking down this road, maybe waiting for a carriage to arrive or what have you. And they say that she wears a white nightgown and she's been seen walking around the sides of the building and going up staircases that no longer exist. Sarah's a pretty famous ghost, actually. There's been a lot of stories written about her in the newspapers and such. If you, if you Google Sarah, the ghost of Patapsco Female Institute, you'll probably find her. There's another ghost here too, the smoking ghost. Okay, smoking ghost is from the First World War in the early 1900s. The First World War was what, 1917, 18. So during that period, the school had closed right prior to the Civil War because the most of the students were from southern plantations. So, and Maryland was a northern state, having been captured at the beginning of the Civil War to make sure it stayed that way. Okay, so what is going on here? Mm, 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 mm. Oh, she doesn't know I'm here. Okay. Yeah, so um the smoking ghost, it is believed to be one of the soldiers that passed away from their injuries. When World War I was going on, this was one of the hospitals where soldiers from injured on the front were sent. So the smoking ghost is apparently one of them. You can see him every now and then standing on the steps by the front door, just smoking away at whatever it is he's got going on there. So anyway. All right, let's go on down the hill here. These steps are crazy, right? Okay. Oop. Down we go. Mm, 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 mm. Not a lot of traffic out here today, really. Haven't seen many cars. These roads back here kind of don't really go anywhere. This one continues on up the hill to the other side of the school. When it's open, they generally have something, have traffic and stuff going up that way. So, and then we'll walk over here. It's a big wide street, right? Okay. I need to see something here. Okay. I lost my kid. Don't know where she went. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see. All right, so this is Church Road, and it has not been unusual for people walking along this road at night to see a horse-driven carriage come barreling around that corner, top speed, only to disappear almost as soon as it was seen. Almost. Yes, indeed. So, let's see. I have to live stream your. Oh, I don't want that there. Go away. Uh, um. I don't know. Let's see. These homes are built into the cliff. I don't know if you can even see all the way down here, but that's quite a significant drop. There's railroad tracks running along the river, which is down there as well. It's a pretty mighty river, but You can't see it at the moment. I guess later in the year when the leaves all disappear, um, you'll see. Definitely. Let's see if we can get a view of anything over here. No, not really. So imagine a carriage, a horse-drawn carriage coming from that direction, racing around the corner, down the hill, and poof, gone. These homes are literally built into the granite, as you can see. Yeah, way high up, right? Definitely. Definitely. Hmm. See what else we have. Up. Let's see. Where are you? I'm at the corner of Church and Main, and I don't see you. I'm lost. Okay, darling girl. Okay. All right, stay there. Oops, that's stay there. Oops. I can't spell. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Right. Stay there. Stay there. Okay. Okay. So coming up is a church that is now a residence, actually. Mhm. Okay. There is coming up on our left. There is Angela's Castle. Angela's Castle is built into the cliff, and it's really, really, really tough to see. Um, you can see the top of the castle. If you look past that garage, you can see the very tops, the turrets. You might be able to get a glimpse down here as well. And you can see a little bit of it. Okay, so Angela's Castle um, was built by a famous architect at the time and modeled after a home Yay! There I am. We're back. Woohoo! Okay. All right. So let me turn this thing around. I got a cool story for you behind me here. Hopefully, my signal is going to continue to be a signal. Hopefully. Okay. So here we are. This is Emory United Methodist Church. Now, a few years back, they were having a Civil War anniversary reenactment thing, right? And so some of the soldiers that were from the Union encampment were staying here at the church. The church, just kind of let everybody crash in the basement or whatever. And so there were a group of soldiers staying here. And so in the evening, this one soldier dressed in the Union uniform. He was a reenactor. Came out to smoke a cigarette, and just kind of hang out, get some air. And another soldier in a Union uniform came up to him and talked with him for a few minutes and asked a couple questions about the neighborhood and then went ahead and excused himself and walked away and kind of disappeared right into, oblivion. The soldier just watched him disappear. So he went back inside and started asking around, who is this guy? Does anybody know? Is anybody missing? Yada, yada, yada. No, no, no. Well, when the story got to the church officials, then they determined that the soldier the spirit was of a young man who lived in Ellicott City and had joined the Union Army and had been killed. And his family wanted him buried in this churchyard here, the churchyard behind this church, Emory. And the church wouldn't let him for whatever reasons I do not know. But anyway, so in the dark of night, some family members took the soldier's body and brought it to the graveyard and buried it without marking it, without leaving any marker. And so it said that the soldier's just walking around searching for his grave. So, one of many similar stories in Ellicott City. Okay. There's a house right there with stone and green shutters there. It used to be used as a parsonage, and there is a spirit that appears from time to time, just like like a parson. And so there were several parsons that had lived here over the years, but none of them resembled this ghost that they kept seeing. And so they couldn't identify him as a parson. And so they passed it off as perhaps an escapee from the jail, just like a parson hiding in plain sight. You never know. Speaking of the jail, it's dead ahead. The jail was used into the 1900s. It's closed now, but it's a horrible, dismal place. Prisoners that were scheduled for execution were put in a special section of the jail where the cells were in complete darkness. For some reason, I don't know if it was part of the punishment or what, but they had them in complete darkness. Down on Main Street was a tobacco shop, and it was owned by one of Ellicott City's finer residents, and he had an employee with him that he had hired, a free black man. So the pair worked together for years, and one night one night they got into some type of altercation, and supposedly the freed slaves said that the white man had come at him with a knife, and so he had to defend himself. Okay, well, he defended himself by stabbing the guy 27 times, right? So self-defense was not believed at all. And so the free man was brought here to the jail, awaiting hanging, execution, whatever. And some of Ellicott City's townfolk took matters into their own hands, not wanting to wait for the scheduled um, um, execution for fear of the um, for for fear that something would intervene or it wouldn't happen. So they took him out back, right behind the court, right behind the jail there, and they hung him. And so his ghost is said to run back and forth between here and what used to be the tobacco shop. So, yeah, pretty interesting. But yeah, it was a very dismal place. You're seeing the front of what I showed you the back of earlier, where they used to put the runaway slaves until they could be claimed. So, interesting. Let's see, we can go back here. But yeah, if you can imagine, Ellicott City was quite a place in the 1800s during the Civil War. They were so instrumental with, helping escape slaves and kind of trying to keep away from the slave catchers. The slave catchers from the Civil War era were the beginnings of what we know today as a police department. They are the police. They were the only police they had back then. Well, except for probably marshals, but yeah, they were the beginning of that. So very interesting. Yes. Okay. Let's go up here. Huh? A light on, really? Hmm. Huh. And there you have the yard where the hangings continued. They were still hanging prisoners when they came into the 19th century, the early 1900s. But very spooky place here. Oh, sure. Huh? Yeah. Okay, let's see. There's one more house I want to show you. Take my book too, please. I'll join you shortly. Okay, so we're at the back of the courthouse. There's a building over here, a couple of them actually, that I just love. Now, what is going on here? This beautiful courthouse made of granite, standing since 1843. It's empty. They built a new courthouse in a different location. And so what they're doing with this one, I have no idea. No idea. Wouldn't it be nice to turn something like this into affordable housing, right? Everybody everybody is aware of the lack of affordable housing, but wow, even the homeless. We have a huge homeless problem here. Okay, right here. Oh my goodness. I haven't really been this close. Let's see. Authorized personnel only. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. All visitors must check in, creating remarkable spaces where life happens. No clue. Okay. This building is absolutely gorgeous. Let's go across the street so you can see the full effect. Go across this little observation decky thing. Ellicott City, as you can see, this road here comes around the top. There's a road right there below us. There's another one further down. They just all kind of wind around the hill. It's very cool. All right. This house, last I knew, was used when the circuit court was still here. This building was operated by the Department of Parole and Probation for the longest time. District Court ran it. Back in the day, this building was home to a doctor and his family. Doctor, wife, and several children lived here, along with a servant who did the cooking and, you know, the other domestic duties that she was probably assigned to. Um, Eventually, unfortunately, the doctor had a heart attack and he died. He passed away in one of the upper bedrooms there. And that kind of left his wife, like with this whole building and kids and no husband. So she ended up turning this into a school. It was one of the Quaker schools. There were several Quaker schools here. And in fact, really, this uh, school was, as I said, one of several Quaker schools. Anyway, so she did that, and eventually the kids grew up, moved out, she sold, yada, 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 all of that. Okay. Well, there started being like sounds of unexplained noises, things that went bump in the night and things of that nature. Um, and so a paranormal um, a paranormal conglomerate experts came and decided they were going to you know, set up their equipment and sit in and see if anything, you know, would be out of the ordinary. And they did determine that that the doctor's spirit was still up there in his bedroom. He decided to hang out, wait for his family, or maybe he liked his bedroom, who knows. But he was the one making things go bump in the night. Now, there's another ghost here as well. Remember the servant that took care of the family? Well, she has been named the she's been named the cooking ghost, right? Remember she used to cook. People have smelled um, food out here, walking past the building, smelled food, different things, different pleasant odors and such. Yet there's no kitchen in this building. Okay, no kitchen in this building. And I will say, many, many years ago, decades ago, I worked here in Ellicott City. I worked in the courthouse. Our offices were in the basement. Nice spooky place. But anyway, we would come out of the courthouse and anybody walking past this building would smell food. I smelled bacon one day. I was like, oh my goodness, it's true. You can smell her food cooking. Yeah, and obviously there wasn't anybody in there or anything like that. One of the really curious things about this house, by the way, is that it's built into the courthouse. I don't know why, but look. That's the courthouse wall, button right up against that house. I bet it wasn't always like that though, because there's kind of like a closed up doorway, maybe? Doorway or window. I don't know. But yeah, and over on this side too. Well, we walked in this way. But yeah, it's all built in. Amazing thing. Absolutely. So now something else that is pretty neat are how these houses, as you can see, there's different levels of streets along the hill. Well, some of these houses are built into the hill. So like, okay, you're looking at this building. Today it's the Children's Museum, Howard County Children's Museum. And, you know, you can see nice entrance and all, da 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 da. It's all good, right? Well, then, if you look around the back of the house, it goes down several levels. Okay. There's an entrance on the other side on the street below. So there's a lot of houses that are built like this. And there are lots of little stone steps that run down between the houses. So like if I wanted to get down to the next street, okay, this is Courthouse Drive, the next street is Church Road. There are steps that I can cut through instead of having to walk around. And I can show you one of those. These old houses were called, once upon a time, Lawyers Row. These were all law offices doing business here at the courthouse, which I'll show you the front of in a second. But this is Lawyers Row. Obviously not well maintained anymore. They were when I worked here many moons ago. This is currently the Howard County Museum. It's about all the Howard County history and such. So it's a museum. Oh yeah, in this museum, there's a ghost here too. If you go down to the basement, which most people won't, there's a guy down there, some kind of spirit or whatever. They think that he was killed in a construction accident when they were building this church. So kind of a little interesting story, right? Let me show you if this is one of those staircases I was talking about. Oh, I don't know if that goes down. It might just go around. But let me show you this. Main entrance to Circuit Court in the rear. That's a new sign. Oh my goodness, they have it open. Here, working in the courthouse. We may have to take a peek in that front door. Yeah, man. First, I'm taking you over here to show you what I'm talking about regarding the many layers of Ellicott City Hills. Okay, here's one of the staircases that I was talking about, though it's Most of them were open to the public back in the day. I guess not so much now. Different people have taken possession, I suppose you could say. And again, right, the granite, it's everywhere. Okay, here's another set of steps going down. And you can see this wild little town, right? And all its many, many peculiar things, peculiarities. Well, we're going to walk up here and look in the front door of the courthouse. It's been eons since I've seen it. Eons. As a matter of fact, I married my first husband here. Oh, at this courthouse. I can show you where we stood. Oh, my. Oh, you can't get through. Oh, yeah, you can. Okay. Oh, look at those chandeliers. Oh, nice chandelier, right? Isn't that cool? Anyway, so I got married right over here in this little courtyard. How sweet. Of course, that was my first marriage. Yeah, look at this. Wow. Okay, now, when I worked at the courthouse, when I worked here, um, my our offices were down on the lower level in the basement there. Good figure, right? Okay, let's see how we doing here. Okay, we're kind of at the end here. I just need to find a place to stop. Oh, look at this view. Look at that. If you love hills and mountains, Ellicott City is the place to visit. This place is great. If you love mysteries and ghosts, woohoo, you got it. History, railroad, we've got a great railroad museum. It's located at the bottom of Main Street in the very first train station ever built. Oh, there's another door open. You can sneak a peek. Yes. Ooh. Look at this. Cool beans. Hey. Look at that. The inside walls are stone. It's one of the things that I loved about this. All right. Well, that was a nice little treat. I wonder what they're doing with that building. I may have to Google something and find out, right? Okay, well, all right. So here is where I'm going to turn the camera back around on myself. There we go. Oop. Did that work? Oh, of course. There we are. There I am. Here I am. Woohoo. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of Mount Misery Ghost Walk. And let's see, next coming up, since winter seems to be coming in, I think it might be time for an Ellicott City zombie snowman tour. Yeah, Ellicott City zombie snowman tour. Yep, yep. Okay, so I have to schedule that. I have a tour coming up Sunday night. We're going to the haunted hayride, maze slash house, trail, whatever. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to do that Sunday night. Hope you can join us. And again, make sure you like my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube page. And don't forget to check out Buy Me a Coffee. I do love coffee. Okay, take care. See ya.